if we are going to have cube tests, it is going to be expected of us to have the idea or be able to list and identify the materials that are going to be used for cube tests. Two, we should also be able to list and identify the apparatus used for cube tests. Three, we should be able to outline the procedures involved in the cube test. And four, we should be able to carry out or conduct the cube test at the end of the lesson. Concrete is one of the most widely used building materials in the world. Because of its usability, it is important to have a control of standard of concrete used for every structures. Failure to do this can result to damage of poor work, which will cost an individual or group more money to remedy its structure. This is because concrete is used mostly for structural processes and such as foundation, columns, beams, and floor, and therefore must be capable of withstanding the load that will be applied. In this regard, it is always advisable to control standard before commencement of any concrete work so as to prevent whatever thing that may happen on the site. One of the methods of checking its fit for purpose is to carry out a concrete cube test, which will measure the compressive strength of the concrete and relates directly to the required design strength specified by the designer. Cube test is usually a minimum requirement from the client to provide evidence of cube test results to ensure compliance with the designer's requirements. Apparatus for cube tests. The following apparatus are used for cube tests. One, the cube mold. As you can see, this is the cube mold that is in 100 by 100 millimeter size. We have that of 150 by 150 millimeter size. Two, the second apparatus is the tamping rod. This is 16 millimeter diameter, 600 millimeter long. It is used for tamping. The third apparatus is the trowel. It is used for picking up mortar or the mixed aggregates into the cube mold. The fourth apparatus is a bucket container. The bucket container is used for carrying water, or it can be used to pick samples of the mixed aggregates. Cube molds are usually 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter, or 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter, and can be made from steel or polyurethane material. The mold must be standard to specification. The mold must be lightly coated in a mold before the concrete is poured into it to prevent the concrete from sticking to the mold and make it easier to remove the cube. When using a 150 millimeter mold, the concrete sample is scooped into the mold in 3 equal layers of 50 millimeter each and compacted between each layers. Hand compaction, that is manual, or mechanical compaction, that is vibrating table, can be used to achieve the test. About 9 cubes are produced, cured for respective days, and are taken to laboratory for testing through crushing or compression testing machine. The crushing is done at 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days respectively. The cubes are tested for failure, and the load which forces the cube into failure is therefore recorded for 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days respectively. Materials for concrete cube tests. The following materials are used for concrete cube tests. 1. Cement. A well-graded cement of ordinary Portland cement is used. 2. Refined aggregate, which is known as the sand. 3. The coarse aggregate, which is known as the granite, and locally people refer to it as gravel. And 4. The water content that is used to mix the materials. The procedures for concrete cube test. 1. To carry out the concrete cube test, firstly, we are expected to identify and select the apparatus for the test. 2. Procedure number 2. Should be able to identify and select the material for the test. 3. We'll cut the mold with a mold released agent. 4. We'll mix the materials to specifications. 5. Pour the concrete mix in the cube mold in 2 layers or 3 layers and turn 25 times each. 6. Smooth the surface of the concrete cast. 7. Remove the concrete cube after 24 hours of casting and immerse the cube in water for curing. 8. The curing. Crush the 3 cubes respectively at 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days, and record the force that caused the cube to fail. After mixing our materials, the next aspect we are going to do is the cube test. As you can see, the material is displayed, and then the apparatus we are going to use is going to be 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter cube. We also have 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter cube. It is 150 millimeter by 150 millimeter. The cube will be filled in 3 layers, each layers containing 50 millimeter, and it will be timed 25 times each. But this we are going to use is 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter cube mold. So we are going to fill one of these in 2 layers. First layer is going to be 50 millimeter. So let's watch and see. The first layer has been filled with 50 millimeter. It's going to be timed 25 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then the last layer of 50 millimeter will now be filled. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. In the surface of this layer of 50 millimeter, having time, the surface of the crystals is smooth with a blue towel. What we have just done is giving us a cube test. We have started the cube. So the cube will be allowed to set for at least a maximum period of 24 hours, and then it will be removed and cured in a concrete bath, a curing bath, for 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, and the concrete cube will be crushed at 7, 14 days, and 28 days respectively. What we are trying to say here is, at the end of the exercise, we will have a cube of this size that has been set, and then this will be cured for 7, 14, and 28 days respectively, and it will be also crushed at 7 and 14 and 28 days respectively. This is a sample of the cube cast, and will be tested for its failure at the crushing or the compression machine.